So now let me see the areas that you're concerned about.
Leg.
Okay. Turn around if you would. Okay, great. So you are like the perfect candidate. You hold that there. You are like the perfect candidate for this operation in that this area right here, step that over this way just a little bit like that. This area here has a beginning and an end. This area right here is out of proportion to this part and out to this part, so that I can tend to this, reduce this, and you'll be much straighter, so that it'll look much, much better in tight pants or a dress or in a bathing suit. And as I said, as long as we get rid of this bulge, it's going to look amazing. The volume we actually take out will be relatively small, but it'll look huge.
Okay.
Now remember, we spoke about it in the consultation about a little dimpling and rippling here. You have that already.
Yeah.
What that means is that your skin is not so tight that it's this taut skin surface like that.
Right.
So that chances are, or most likely, you will still have those sort of things afterwards.
Right.
And they could be a smidgen worse. But I certainly think that the overall change in your contour would be worth either keeping this the same or actually making a few more little dimples. So anything that I do, you always have to weigh the scarring and the consequences of what I do versus the entire effect. And I think that your contour change will be well worth the little bit of scars and maybe a little increase in dimpling.
Okay.
Okay. Take pictures of you first, and then I'm going to mark you and show you how we do it. So.
And then like areas like I've even talked to customers and things like knee areas.
Okay,
do people do that?
Oh, definitely. So okay, this knee area again. You have an area right from here to here. Right from here to here.
Yeah.
That is a little bit out of proportion to the rest. So I can certainly tone that down so that it doesn't flare out so much here. You have a modest amount of fat right here, not much, but significantly thicker than it is here. So I can tone this down so that this area is as thick as this area. And that's what I do at operation. I'm constantly touching to see if I can get the fatty layer here to be the same thickness as the fatty layer here.
Okay.
And this has nice thick skin, just like your outer thigh does. So we can rely on that, especially with the little bit of treatment we can get with this Smart Lipo MPX to retract in nicely, and you'll get much nicer knees.
Okay. And arms?
Arms, okay. Make a muscle like that. Okay, you don't have a tremendous amount of fat. You have a minimal amount of loose skin, so that you a great we could get a little result. As long as your expectations are not that great, I can certainly tighten this up and remove just a smidgen, a little bit of underlying fat. Your problem here is more, and as it is in most women, more of a laxity of skin rather than an excess of fat. Because when you make a muscle, you must
it
be
takes
to the
up
gym
that.
a good bit. It takes that up.
Okay.
So yeah, could we do this? It's not going to be as remarkable as this or that.
Okay.
But that could be done.
The other thing I have that women are always concerned with, because I, in the clothing business, is this little piece that's always there.
That's easy. If we just,
so he can get
just
rid
do
of that, ladies.
I could do that. You will just fold this so the camera doesn't. That's easy. That's just an excess amount of fat right there.
So there's a cure to getting rid of that.
That's a cure for that. So we can remove a little bit of fat and tighten the skin, and that'll go away. The interesting thing is, with any of these areas, go home tonight and look at the area that I marked. Imagine taking, I know it's a little gruesome, imagine taking a bread knife and slicing off the area of fullness. It's really not a lot of volume that makes a huge difference in your body, in your overall contour. Yep. Okay. Okay, let's take a few pictures.
All right.
Let's just, we can just take pictures today just of your lower body.
Do you want me to drop the robe?
Or hold it up just like that, it's fine. Yep. And take that corner up, that right there, good. Okay, now turn all the way around. Actually, you see the fullness in your, no, that's good. You see the fullness in your legs a little bit more from the back than in the front.
Oh yeah. That back end's
Yeah,
coming and going.
It looks wider from the back than the front. Okay, now let me show you what we would do at surgery.
Ah, mark it up.
Okay? You can
You're a
leave
brave
one side down
person.
and just turn this way like that. What?
Yeah, my husband's gonna be like,
Come this way.
you filmed this whole thing?
Right. Okay, so this area here, if you look, what I see here is an area that kind of starts here, ends here, begins right about here, and always extends into the buttock. So this area is where I'm going to pay attention to at surgery, like that, and then bring this in here and here, like that. Okay, now, this is about the highest point right here. Now we draw like a topographical map. If you go here, then this area has about the surrounding height. Then this, in like that, and then that area. So normally when I do someone's outer thigh like this, I'll use 2 entry points, one here and one here that's hidden in your gluteal crease. The reason being is that I'll go in with the cannula this way, and then I'll go in with the cannula perpendicularly, and in that way you get a really nice resection of fat. Now what do is, and the way I start out is, if this is the highest point, I'm going to go in with that laser cannula and melt more fat here than out in the periphery. So I'll actually count. I'll go with that laser cannula maybe 25 or 30 times from here to here. Then as I get here, I'll go in, 15 to 20, 10 to 15, and 10 times here, so that I selectively get more fat where it's the thickest, and then fan it out where it gets thinner. Again, the whole idea is to plane this off so that this area here is just as thick as that area there.
But yet I still will have a curve.
Oh yeah.
I'll still have a woman-looking body.
Oh yeah. I'll show you when we look at the pictures on the computer. This is if you took a knife and sectioned off this from here, you're only taking out about that much.
Yeah.
Maybe not even a centimeter to the thickest part. So you're going to maintain your nice curve. It's just going to be a more gentle curve than something that goes out as far and comes back in quickly.
Right.
So that'll be super.
Okay.
If you wanted to do if you wanted to talk about your knees, you hold your knees straight. Oh, come this way. This is where your knee begins and this fullness begins and ends, like that. That's the highest point, and you do that. So that's where I take out the most. That's where I take out the most, and then just feather it out to here and here, so that this bulge goes away. Let's take 2 pictures of that so that you can see those on the computer as well.
Dr. Goodkind is really excited about these things.
I do. I told you. Smart
Yes,
Lipo.
well, this is fun.
Smart Lipo has made me excited about doing Smart Lipo stuff. Now what I want you to do is look at me head on, and I'll oblique it a little bit because I want you to see where, bring that up a little bit so it's, there you go. I want you to, okay, now turn all the way around. I'm going to take a picture of at least half of your cheek right there. There you go, like that. Good. So now if you have no other questions, let's go back and look at these pictures.
Okay.
So you get dressed and I'll meet you back.
Okay. Now that you've all seen me in my bra and underwear.
It's like a swimsuit.
It is like a swimsuit. It is like a swimsuit. That's why I wore black. Because you know what? I could have worn my bikini in. Because it looks just like my bikini. So you're absolutely right. Okay, we're going back.